Hello, and welcome to another edition of Just 5 Minutes in Acts, short 5-minute reflections from the New Testament book called The Acts of the Apostles. I'm Clay Brown, Associate Pastor for Equipping Ministries at Memorial Drive Presbyterian Church, Houston, Texas. And from today's passage, we're going to look at one thought and then one implication of that thought. And by implication, I simply mean if the thought's on target, then here's what it means for your life and mine. The passage today, Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through 47. I want to focus on verse 42 from the New Living Translation. All the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and to sharing in meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. What's the one thought here? How do you develop strong followers of Jesus Christ? Acts chapter 2, verse 42 shows us how. In what I call church world, kind of like Jerry World in Arlington, only the HD TV isn't as good, it's easy to become faddish. I remember when everyone had to read The Purpose-Driven Life, Jesus Calling, The Shack, Crazy Love, watch the Numa videos, sing I Can Only Imagine or Oceans, middle-aged pastors wearing skinny jeans. If you weren't excited about the particular fad of the moment, then what's wrong with you? Why are you closed off to what God is doing now? I think Acts chapter 2, verse 42 tells a different story. From the very start, there's a template for the kind of life that grows and nurtures disciples, followers of Jesus Christ. It's simple, actually. Not easy, mind you. Being a Christ follower is not easy, but simple. Simple to understand. You study foundational Christian teachings and get a sense of what they are and why they're significant. You become grounded in the faith. You spend time with fellow believers and develop strong relationships. Some 3 a.m. friends, the people you call at 3 in the morning if you need help. You share meals together, especially the greatest meal ever, the Lord's Supper, God's sustaining grace for life's journey. You pray. Praises, confessions, intercessions, requests, thanksgivings. The framework is all in Acts chapter 2, verse 42. Not a fad, hasn't changed in 2,000 years. No need for a new operating system. And to quote those theological sages of the 1980s, David Byrne and Talking Heads, same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Now, what's one implication of this thought? If you want your walk with Jesus to be healthy, mature, and for the long haul, then you'll want to put into practice these 4 things from Acts chapter 2, verse 42. I hear about people who profess faith in Jesus during a youth camp, or through Young Life, or in a church service, or in the aftermath of a traumatic life event, and they say, Jesus, take the wheel. And it's good for a little while, but nothing happens with it. Never built on or developed. And after a while, the good feelings go away. Life intrudes with another challenge. You thought this meant life would be easier, and instead life has gotten harder. And so obviously this isn't what it was advertised. The late R.C. Sproul once said that his life didn't start becoming difficult until he became a Christian. Attempting to live out the implications of following Jesus as Lord changes your perspective, your practice. You really don't have to forgive an enemy, for example, until you follow Jesus as Lord, and He insists that you forgive someone who hasn't said he or she's sorry. Sometimes what's going on is you've latched on to someone else's faith, a parent, a youth leader, a pastor, a spouse, and never gone through the process of making the Christian faith your faith. And so, if you're looking for something that isn't a flash in the pan, or an emotional high from years ago with little relevance for life today, then the practices emphasized at the start of the Christian movement are the way for you to go. It's how you mature in following Jesus as Lord. You're grounded in the content of Christianity. You have strong relational connections. You're experiencing His grace with others and in the Lord's Supper. And you're praying with much more in mind than, here's a laundry list of what you can do for me. It's how you prepare for the storms that inevitably will come, and how you weather those storms with the Spirit's help. It's how God develops growth and resilience in you. Your faith has become your faith. Well, I think that's enough for now. Any questions? Email me at cbrown@mdpc.org. That's cbrown@mdpc.org. Next time, one thought, one implication from Acts chapter 3, verses 1 through 26. Thanks. God bless. Take care.